and he says, I have got 3 cards. A blue card, another blue card, and a red card, and this red card is your money card. All you have to do is keep track of the money card, and if you're right, I give you $1. But if you're wrong, you owe me $1, and we'll start real easy. And at least from my point of view, he quickly swaps that top card to the bottom and asks, so where's the red money card? And I'm like, you're right, this is easy. You just switch to the bottom. But he goes, sorry, you owe me $1. And so I was like, wait, that was probably a fake switch, and it's actually still on top, isn't it? But then he lifts up the top card and says, sorry, top one's blue too, you owe me $2. So I'm like, wait, if it's not on the bottom, not on the top, it must be in the middle. And he fans the cards open, takes out the middle card, and says, nope, you owe me 3. Now I'm skeptical and say, you probably switched out that red card at the very beginning and only have 3 blue cards there. And this guy, without doing anything, just rotates his hand and says, nope, money card's right here at the bottom, and now you owe me $4. But then he goes, how about this? And with a completely wide open palm, he snaps his fingers over the cards and says, where's the money card now? And I'm just like, dude, you literally did nothing and just snapped your fingers. It's obviously still on the bottom. But then he just lifts the top card and says, nope, finger snaps are powerful enough for you to owe me $5, and so now that you know that, same move. How about now? And being the fool I am, I say, okay, it switched back to the bottom, but then he fans the cards open and says, nope, money card's in the middle, and now you owe me $6. By now, I already feel like I'm getting scammed big time, but to prove a point, I say, you know what, this game is usually played on the table surface and you're supposed to toss them around like this, but you've been holding the cards this entire time, which means I bet you're using more than 3 cards. And he says, well, how about you put them one at a time on the table and feel for yourself? So I grab them one at a time out of his hand and what the heck? There really only were 3 cards, and he says, and since you're wrong about your bet on me using more than 3 cards, now you owe me $7. And so at this point, I'm ready to walk away, so I reach into my pocket and start to peel away $7, but then he says, wait, because I like you, let's play double or nothing, and to make it really easy on you, you just saw that the red money card's here in the middle, and so this card must be blue, which it is. And now, with all 3 cards on the table, I won't even touch them from now on. Double or nothing means that if you tell me what color the face down card is, and you're right, instead of $7, you owe me nothing, but if you're wrong, you owe me double. You down to play? And like an absolute idiot, I'm like, yes, because at the beginning he showed 2 blue cards and 1 red card, so theoretically it should be blue. But him being tricky this whole time, I say, I'm gonna go with red. Final answer. He nods and just stares at me, and I'm like, what? And he says, I promised you I'm not even gonna touch the card, so you flip it over and see if that 7 you owe me is nothing or if it's double. Fair enough. So I reach over, pick it up, and what the heck? This was rigged all the way from the beginning. Fun, right? If you're curious, this is a magic trick you can buy called Color Monty, and like the punchline, at the time of recording this video, it's also $14 on Amazon. And I've linked it down in the description. However, unlike a sneaky scam like that, the rest of this video is straight up a very direct sales pitch. So if you're not interested in hearing the sales pitch, I hope you enjoy that little magic story and feel free to click out. But if you're still here, any sales pitch needs 3 basic components, and the first component is to share the value it hopes to provide. And the value I hope to provide lives in 3 buckets that ultimately comes in the form of content that would not do well on YouTube because it's either too detailed, too niche, or too off topic. Here's what I mean. With bucket 1 of being too detailed, in this YouTube video, I shared how I spent 24 hours exploring and eating a ton in Tokyo for just $50, including hotel and a souvenir. But in order for the video to retain view time, for the section about the ridiculously affordable yet insanely clean sleeping accommodations, I could only flash this text on screen. Which means even though I know and even filmed the process of getting the required membership card as a foreigner, I had to remove it from the final edit because it would have killed retention. Now, bucket 2 of being too niche. These 2 videos share the products I designed and launched on Kickstarter, but the products themselves do not matter. What matters is that I know there are some folks who have a product idea or invention they want to bring to life but have no clue where to even start. However, a how-to Kickstarter video, at least one that actually provides real actionable value, would absolutely tank on the YouTube channel because it's just way too niche. And then there's bucket 3, too random. For example, some folks notice random objects in the background of my YouTube videos, yet there's no way I could upload a video about records I listen to, how I brew my wake-up juice, or hey, even more random stuff like seeing a random magic trick. So that's part 1 of my sales pitch, the value I hope to provide. But part 2 of any sales pitch is transparent, easy to understand pricing. For now, I intend on lumping all of these pieces of content into one single tier on Patreon, with the commitment that I publish content, whether it's video, audio, an essay, an image, or downloadable resource. My commitment is that there'll be a posting cadence of at least twice a month. Although multiple tiers would likely make more sense, especially a dedicated tier specifically for entrepreneurship and the pursuit of earning more money, for now, to keep things simple, it'll just be one tier over on Patreon for $5 per month. Now, when it comes to an effective sales pitch, part 3 is active disqualification. Trying my best to share why this might not be right for you. Active disqualification means that if you come out in front and share reasons why the person you're selling to might not want to buy, it eliminates buyer's remorse by clearly setting expectations, meaning if after trying to disqualify yourself they still decide to spend, it means your offering truly is right for them. And so here's my active disqualification against my new Patreon content. Reason 1, and most importantly, is if you don't think it's likely that you will get value, whether it's educational like in buckets 1 and 2 or entertainment in bucket 3. My request is that if you don't think you'll actually get what you perceive as $5 a month worth of value, please do not join. Reason 2, it's off-platform. In order to get the value I hope to provide, you'll need to visit the Patreon website periodically and log in, or download the Patreon app onto your phone. And so that's my 3-part sales pitch. If after those disqualifiers, you feel like the value I hope to provide match or outweigh the cost as you perceive them, you can sign up and subscribe at patreon.com/MauriceMoves or find it linked down in the description. And hey, if you're completely new to the channel and this is the first one you've seen, this video is so far outside of what I typically post. So if you're a travel lover, you'll definitely want to watch this video right up here. If however, you're feeling lucky, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, if you got value, consider liking this video. And of course, if you think you'll get value from Patreon, be sure to visit that link down in the description.